Hi, I'm Kathy Meaney.
And I'm Sue Robertson. And welcome to
Don't mind
Don't
us, we're artists.
Artists.
This video will give you an inside look to our lives and our antics as we've been friends for many years now. And Sue likes to come up with some brainiac ideas.
You're going to blame this one on me,
Yeah,
are
I
you?
am. And I just
That's
go
not
along.
surprising. Yeah.
So
So we
today,
thought to kick it off, we would just maybe have a chat and introduce ourselves to you.
So I'm Kathy Meaney, and I'm a visual artist. I like to paint women. And as I was painting, I developed a series called Ladies of the Lake, and they are very fun, whimsical, bosomus women, just having fun and enjoying life. I have a real appreciation for women's friendship, and that I like to portray in my art.
I have a question. You said bosomus. Is that alcohol or bosomy?
Both. I just feel that once women reach a certain age and they've raised their children, they just take a real joy in their treasured friendships. And they
So, bosom
confide in
buddies?
bosom buddies. They've got curves and rolls. And as we reach middle age, we're not striving for that skinny little body anymore.
Or not? I
I'm
didn't get
not.
that message.
It's too much work to be stressed out over that.
No kidding.
No, but the ladies, I paint by capturing a moment in time, and in that moment, the body language is what tells the story. Women, these my paintings don't have any faces, so I rely on the body language for people to identify with the story I'm telling them in my artwork.
Oh,
It's fun. It's fun
it is
stuff.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'll put a few pictures in so people can see what you're talking about.
you bet.
Yeah. So,
So, Sue, how about you?
well,
Tell us about yourself.
I've been potting for over 35 years now, and when I say potting, I'm a ceramic artist, and I specialize in production functional wear, and I create work to bring joy to people's lives. There's no deep dark meaning to what I do. It's just fun, and I like it to resonate with people and connect with people, and in turn for people to connect with either a place they've been that it reminds them of, or time shared with friends and family. And over the years, I've developed a lot of different patterns, and specialize in a lot of natural patterns. So, animals, foxes, raccoons, flowers, trees. Um, yeah, people like my work. Hey, what can I say? I
It's
like to make it, they
beautiful.
like to buy it.
It's
And here's some
beautiful
pictures.
artwork. And you're always coming up with new and fresh ideas, aren't you, Sue?
Well, that actually is, well, it's sort of a two-pronged thing. It's because people are constantly saying to me, "Have you ever thought of doing something?" And it's like, "No, I haven't." And that sounds like fun. And for me, in terms of the creative process, where I get the greatest joy is coming up with those new patterns.
Yeah.
So it's a little overwhelming at times because I probably have, well, what have I got? Well, I've got over 100 different patterns that I do. And that's not even talking about the variations of colors. That's just different patterns. And it can be very difficult, but it's always like, well, can you do a moose with a mountain? Well, sure, I can do whatever you want. Just give me enough time to figure it out.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I love the challenge of creating new work more so
And
than actually making it.
that's great. And where do you work from?
Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. And that's not an easy question to answer right now.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, not for you. But we're both Canadian artists.
Oh yeah. Woo! Oh, I wore red today.
Yeah, you did. I'm dressed for cold Alberta weather.
Yeah. Well, it's cold here too. Um, yeah, it's kind of funny how Kathy and I met because we live in different provinces. I'm in Saskatchewan in a small community of Outlook, Saskatchewan, 2,500 people, and I've been here since 1983. And this is where I started my career in pottery because my husband said, you need to get out and you need to do something. They're advertising this pottery class. We used to have a community pottery group here with a studio. And so I went and took a class, fell in love with it, and that was the beginning of the end, I think, for my poor husband. But we're actually in the process of building a new studio, and we're moving down the road 10 kilometers to an even smaller community, Broderick, total 85 people.
Oh, is
Uh,
that it?
yeah, and that's including us because it had 85 and there was a tragic accident, a fire, and 2 people died. So we thought we were going to increase the population, but it's just going to maintain it. But yeah, we expect to be in there by the 15th of June. It's
That'll
pretty
be
exciting.
so
And
nice.
and where do you hide out, Kathy?
Well, I hide out in several locations. My series actually started at Pigeon Lake, but I get my mail, and my studio is in Spruce Grove, Alberta, which is 15 minutes east of Edmonton. Our population is about 30,000, and the surrounding area is much, much greater than that. However, we bought a cabin in 2001, or as Easterners say, a cottage at Pigeon Lake, which is about an hour and 15 minutes south of Edmonton. Really handy. And I call that place the place for my soul. I find great joy there. It gives me tranquility. And so that's where the Ladies of the Lake began. I was always dabbling in some sort of creative process, and I just started painting from memories. So the Ladies of the Lake were born, and that was in 2005. So now here we are, 16th year, and I have a product line that celebrates women and their antics. So, but that's where I live. So I kind of do 6 months in one place, 6 months in the other, not full time. I have to bounce back and forth, 2 households to manage, get the mail in Spruce Grove, visit my friends, and then return to the lake and sigh.
Well,
Nice
I have
lake.
to I have to bring up a point because I've always been curious about it. You said, cabin, and for Easterners it's a cottage. And is that how people define cabin versus cottage? I've always wondered about that because
I don't know either. Somehow, like when I think cabin, I started thinking about it yesterday, and I think cabin is a place in the woods. But all of us here call a cabin, whether it's lakefront or in the bush or wherever, we call it a cabin. So you could have a lakefront property and it's a cabin. I
yeah.
don't. It's
Yeah, see,
one
to
of those
me, because I'm an Easterner originally, I'm from Ontario, but I look at a cottage as something, you know, year round, pretty fancy, more like a house,
like
whereas I see
Muskokas.
yeah, and a
Yeah.
cabin as being more rustic, sometimes without bathroom
Oh,
facilities.
yeah. No, we're winterized and we've got all of that. And we've got a nice lakefront property. It's old, but we've got running water and toilets. And some of the homes out there that people call cabins are really monstrosity houses. We went for the property, the land, rather than the humongous building.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's a joy for our family.
You're very fortunate. We looked at a few years ago our other business. We own a small motel. We thought we had sold it, and we were looking to buy property in Nova Scotia. And when you say that your cabin is your heart's desire, Nova Scotia is still our heart's desire. But we realized at this point in our life, it's a little late to be pulling up roots and moving when if we had family and friends established down there, it would be different. But to
But
just move,
everybody's
yeah,
established here where you are, right?
yeah, our friends are here, and well, we've been here since '83, so almost 40 years, and it's home
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So it's hard to leave home, actually.
yeah, yeah.
Although there are lots of days I want to run away, but
That's why I have a cabin.
the hideout cabin. Oh,
Yes, but it's a good life. It's a good life. And I know exactly, do remember when you were looking at moving to Nova Scotia. And I think
yeah,
if you moved to Nova Scotia, I wonder if we would have been doing what we're doing now.
probably because with the tech, well, I was going to say with the technology today, but considering the issues we had trying to get this up and running today, it's just like, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, speaking of families, tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, my family, I have a very large extended family, um, which we all keep in touch with one another. I have three sons, 37, 35, and one turned 23 yesterday. Yes, there's a big spread. It's like having two families. None of my children are married. I have no grandchildren, even though I am longing to be a grandmother. Uh, I just take joy in my nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers' children. Brian and I just really, by the way, my husband's name is Brian. We really want to be grandparents. And my
Well, you
kids are
should.
going to hate this if they watch this video.
Oh, that's so sad. Get
So,
married, have
yeah,
grandchildren.
yeah.
Well, you
So,
should
but
mention that you're Ukrainian, and so
okay, well, that's the interesting thing that you had wondered about. One small thing that people wonder about me. Well, I have to say, I married an Irishman, but I am 99% Slavic. My families came from Poland and Ukraine. It was Galatia at the time. They came in 1899. So even though I am Ukrainian, I married an Irishman, and hence the name Meaney. The other thing that I wanted to say is I'm from Alberta and not Ontario. Many people think I'm from Ontario because I paint the ladies of the lake, which is interesting, right?
Mhm.
We have lakes in Alberta.
Yeah, it's kind of like where I live, Saskatchewan. Everybody has this vision of this flat province, and there is a portion of the province that is literally like that. And there's a standing joke that if your dog runs away, you can see it's behind for 3 days. Uh, and it's pretty much true. And I happen to actually live in that part of the province, but and you know what is it, 90% of Saskatchewan's population lives in the bottom third of the province, and of that third, maybe a third of it is that flat. But everything 2 hours north of me is like Canadian Shield. It's
Oh,
rocks and trees and
I've
moose.
been there. It's beautiful. I love
Mhm.
it there, but I don't like telling anybody because I don't want it to get busy up there. Keep going
Oh,
that way. Keep going west. Keep going east. But
yeah,
don't tell anybody about northern Saskatchewan. It's too lovely.
it is. It is beautiful. Well, actually, the whole province. It's really cool because you can see. all kinds of different, like we have Badlands, we have
Yeah.
um, Grasslands National Park, which is got the largest prairie dog infestation, which
Really?
the most, oh yeah, it's really cool. For miles, all you see are these little gophers jumping up out of their holes. And
Oh,
I should say for those Ontario people, because I moved here from Ontario, to us a gopher is well a groundhog. You know, groundhog and
oh,
gopher are the same thing. Whereas they come out here and people say, "Oh, look at the gophers," and I'm going, "That's not a gopher. That's like this tall. They're like 6 inches tall. Cute little things. They're actually
yeah.
ground squirrels, is what they are."
Oh,
But yeah, no. If you go out to grasslands, just as far as the eye, you can see these little creatures popping up and
yeah.
running around, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I bet. So
Anyways,
Sue, tell us about your family.
well, I'm, as I said, originally from Ontario. I moved with my husband and my 17-day-old baby to, we purchased this small motel in small town Saskatchewan. I'm a city girl, grew up in a city and never lived in a small town. And within 2 weeks, I was saying to my husband, "What kind of agricultural hell did you bring me to?" Because it was Monsanto and Roundup and the hog report. And I'm going, in the
Prairie
preoccupation,
Prairie Farm Report,
oh, yeah.
Western
And
producer.
all this stuff I had no, and the preoccupation with rain and having people come in and say, "Oh, wow, did we ever get a lot of rain last night?" And first of all, I'd look at them because I'm from Ontario. I lived on the St. Lawrence River. And in the spring it rained for 2 weeks, stopped for two
Yeah.
days, rained for, and here, well, we got 2 tenths last night. What the heck is 2 tenths? I have no idea. Like, and 2 tenths is like this much rain, and
It's funny because I can relate to that. I grew up on a farm, so I know all that farm talk and getting the grain tested for dryness and all that. So for you, it must have been quite a change.
oh, it was. I learned very quickly not to throw anything that could break, so I threw a lot of Tupperware at my husband for the first years.
So how did you come to choose? How did you come to choose Outlook?
Actually, Ian's dad had been transferred. He worked with the Royal Bank and he had been transferred to Regina, and they had sold their family business in Ontario, and
Oh,
he was looking to reinvest. And, Ian had managed that business, and his dad went and found a few businesses for us to come out and look at. And actually, we were supposed to end up in Katapawa, near Fort Capel originally. We were buying a campground golf course.
oh,
And yeah, and came out here and looked at the motel and the community, and it had all the things that we wanted and needed for raising a family. But the impetus for us to move was we were living in Ottawa then, and I just didn't want to raise a family in a large city. I just
yeah.
didn't want to do it. So we moved out here, and then so we got married. This is quite the story. I got married in 82. In 83, we moved here and with a 17-day-old baby.
Oh my
In
gosh.
84, we had my daughter on our second anniversary, and in 85, we had our son. And they, in turn, have been very prolific. We now have 7 grandchildren and an eighth one arriving in June this year. I told my boys to tie a knot in it because I can't afford any more grandbabies. It's just too many presents to have to
Oh,
shop.
but
Well, hey, you said you can hardly wait to have grandchildren. I can loan you a few.
I love it.
You can adopt them. That's
It
okay.
doesn't matter what age. I don't think they'd give you up, Sue.
Well, I don't know with this COVID. Well, we have one that's turning a year old at the end of April, and we haven't met him yet. We were supposed to fly out last year in May, and everything got shut down.
Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of COVID, we're going for our shots next Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Great.
So we soon will be immunized and hopefully able to travel.
And I haven't got my first one, but my husband is immunized. So waiting for mine.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
ran out.
Oh
No,
God. Oh no. Oh, well, for this week, I think that's a nice introduction. What do you think? Does
I
anything
think
more?
I think it's great. We keep it simple. We'll keep it light, and if you like our little videos, please join us every month. Our we're going to be talking about ourselves, our art, what we do, why we do it, who are we interested in, all various things, many different things. And we'll keep it light, we'll keep it entertaining, and we're focusing on you.
Yeah, and if you want more information, I'll put our websites on here and you can contact us. We'd love to hear from you anytime. Well, not anytime. I don't like calls in the middle of the night.
I don't mind emails in the middle of the night, but phone calls, no.
I always think somebody's died when the phone rings in the middle. Not awful. Anyways, have a good month. We look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.
Please like and subscribe to Don't Mind Us, We're Artists. Take care.